Hi guys, I'm back. Today I want to teach you some one-stroke painting on a mirror from the salon that I work at. It's what I use on my clients, but as you can see it's really plain and black and it's just a plain mirror. So what I'll be using for today's design is the brushes from Plaid. They're one stroke. This number is a flat 3/4. This one is a liner brush, again from Plaid, one stroke, for one stroke painting. Materials I've collected are paper towel for cleaning my brushes. I have here, again from Plaid one stroke painting, I have my water basin, and here are the colors I'm going to use. As you can see, these are really nice. Holds your brushes for you, and it's got different sizes to hold your brushes while you're working. I have fresh water in here. I use the let me bring this back. I use this side, okay, just to hold my paints when they're open so I don't spill them. It holds more brushes in here as well. The colors that I'll be using today for our one stroke, our leaves are okay, this is Italian Sage and Thicket. As you can see on the top, these are E for enamel. Enamel is glossy. It stays on without coming off this surface, which is slick. So to start, I'm going to run my brush through water. I'm going to soften it, make sure it's not stiff. Now I'm going to take I have this little palette here. It's what I used to use for putting makeup samples on, but I'm going to use this since I have it here available. Now these paints that I have here, I actually had gotten them from QVC at one time. The kit brings an introductory kit of a lot of paints, brushes, everything to get started with. They're old, but I don't know if they still have those kits. I've had it for a while, so let me get started. What I like to do is, when I do these designs, I like to take and start with my big leaves first, so that way I can create my flowers over them. I think I'll just throw a little bit of yellow in here. Oops, a bit too much. And that's school bus yellow. I really don't want that much on my palette. Let's see how I can do this. Now this mirror is going to be a copy of the one that I actually made for myself in the salon, but this one's going to be for my friend AJ, who works next to me and is always stealing my mirror, as she says she likes it. So I said I'd paint her. So as you can see here, I am blending my colors into my brush. Alright, making sure that it's nice and loaded, and I'll just take a little dab of that yellow, very little. I don't want it to be so strong. Alright, so I think, let me just move these paints over here. It's a little big, so I'm hoping that I can get it all in here. I know that in here I want to have a nice central rose with rosebuds going up this way. So I'd like to create some petals here on the side. So it's just as easy as just pushing on the brush and going back into my palette, loading it some more. Okay, so let me see if I can zoom it in a little bit better. Alright, so basically again, I'm just going to go over it and it's just wiggling, 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 coming up to a point. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to rotate it. And again, I'm going to come here with the light color in the middle. And I'm just wiggling, 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 wiggling. And coming to a point. And load again. And you can come back. And coming to a chisel point. With the chisel edge of your brush, just come back in. When I say chisel, it means, it means the edge. Okay, I'm going to continue to do these. I'm going to put some more paint on my brush. Again, I'd like to fan it out. Let me see if we could get you to see. Bringing up your brush to a point. Now I'm going to rotate this a little bit. Let me see, I'm trying to not get any glare from the light. I'm going to come back in and load my brush a little bit again. And do the same exact thing on the opposite side. You can overlap your petals, bringing it to a chisel edge. And again, with your brush standing up 90 degrees on the chisel edge, just come in forward. I'll create some more. Let me see if I can adjust this light where it's not so I don't want to get any glare in here. Alright, so again, I'm going to come here and I'm going to wiggle, come up to a chisel. Oops, I'm so sorry. I'll get that one again, I'll do it again. So basically what I do is hold the brush, press down on it, come up to a chisel edge. Now turn this. The only reason I'm turning it is because of the fact that I need to get it into the lens. Normally you would not be turning your projects especially if you're working on a surface that is like a wall or a cabinet. You're not going to have the freedom of turning your pieces, but just to get it into the view of the lens. I think I'll do one more. Again, I'm loading, double loading, from one side, the other side. Making sure you have enough paint on your brush. Okay, and we'll do the exact same procedure. Let me see if I get in here. So I'm turning it. As I'm doing this, I'm really putting pressure on the brush only because I have a surface that has texture and I want to make sure that I get it into all the grooves, because if you don't, let me see, you could see that it leaves little like air pockets in there. So I'm going to come back on this side. I'm going to come again, where is it? I'm going to come again with the same strokes, pushing into it. I'm coming up to a chisel edge. So now I'm going to come in again and create my lines there. Now I'm going to go for a smaller brush and just find a nice one. And this one is size 12 flat. Again, these are plaid brushes. I'm going to get a little bit more of my sage green on the palette. I overwhelmed it too much with the yellow. Put a little bit more of my thicket. Again, I wet my brush and I'm wiping it on my paper towel. I'm going to come in and make smaller little petals. Now, I'm not a professional as far as certification or anything. I just enjoy being creative. So here I'm going to take my brush. As you can see, this one, like I said, is a size 12 flat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the brush straight up. I'm going to push down on it, pushing, and then bringing it up to a chisel edge, as you can see. Let me see if I can get that a little closer again. Let me see if turning this light will take that glare off. I think that helps. Okay, we're going to continue doing these. These are going to be like background filler leaves for our design. And when I take my brush away from the camera, I am reloading my brush. Alrighty, I'm going to continue here. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm going to have to let this dry somewhat before I can come in and actually create my roses. If it's not 100% dry, it's okay. If some of the color that's on the green bleeds into your flowers, because in nature it'll look like that. You get a little tone of the actual green. Right, let me come down here. Now, like I said, a good way to determine how you want your leaves to go is open your hand and you'll see the way your fingers are pointing. That's the fan effect you want with your bouquet for this project that I'm doing. So this way down here, since it's getting narrower, I want to create just a few little leaves as well. Sorry. Now I'm going to come to the opposite side. Now this is just as my background. I will have more in here. Okay. Now, since I'm working with these colors on my palette at the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for my liner brush. I'm going to take the camera back so you could see what I'm doing. As you can see, I have all the bigger petals here with the fillers in between and coming in smaller towards the end. Just making sure that my brushes are clean. Okay, now my liner brush is wet and I ran it through the paper towel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the liner brush, cover one side. Okay, now the other side, I'm running it through the dark side. So here I have the dark and the light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take light strokes and connect my little leaves. I'm just loading again, making sure that I'm properly loaded here. So I'm going to come here and connect these. Now, to know means to know. I have no green thumb whatsoever, so I know none of the terminology or names of any of this stuff. I just know that it's pretty. I like it. And I like to pretend I know what I'm doing. So here we go. Back over here now. Let me move this back so you can see. Alright, now with the same brush, I'm going to take and create some scrolls. And the way you create your scrolls is you hold your brush at a 90-degree angle, which is completely straight up, and you start creating your little scrolls. I'm going to load my brush again. And here it kind of faded out, so I'm just going to come back in. Like that. And I will do the same on the other side. I'll come over here. I'm sorry for my arm. Let's see if I can move it where my hand isn't in the way. So very light touch on your brush. Going to drag our brush. If you run out, just reload your brush. Just like that. I will turn this around a little bit, and I will throw just a few little more of these little vines in here. And you can go right over your existing petals that you have. Not petals, I'm sorry. See, I don't know what I'm talking about. These are leaves. Alright, you see, I would love to know more about flowers. I mean, if I did, I'd probably be creating floral bouquets because I love flowers. So, let me see, I'll just make little ones over here. And I think I'll leave it like that for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll come back and we'll start creating some more layers of flowers. Okay guys, I'm back. It's pretty much set up. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it's okay. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using these enamel paints. One is called Berry Wine and the other one is White. Again, they're enamel paints from Folk Art, and I've thrown in a little bit of this baby pink just in case I want to have a medium color. I've put it on my palette, you can see, and we're gonna continue making our flowers. So again, we're going to use the same techniques. We're going to be double loading. So one side is going to be the berry wine, as you can see here. The other side is my white. Now I just bought this white and I find it's a little thick, so I'm hoping that it's going to work the way made a mistake. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to clean my brush in the water. That happens on occasions. So again, I'm going to come in one side white, one side the berry wine, and I'm just blending my colors again. I don't know why the white seems to be so thick. I just got it today. Alright, so let's see how we do. Now again, I use the lighter color on the outside because that's how nature hits surfaces. The lighter is on the outside, darker is in the inside. And we're going to be creating a fan shape, narrower in the middle, opening up like a fan to create our petals. Again, doing the same pressing and wiggling strokes. So I'm pushing. Let me see if I can zoom that in a little bit for you. I'm sorry for the little glare on the image. It's just that I have an overhead light and it's in the way. So again, I'm coming to my palette, touching the white, touching the burgundy on the berry wine, and just blending it. So next to that, I'm going to come in again, pushing, fanning out my petals, and coming into a point. Again, coming in, loading my brush, coming in here, and creating my outer petals, coming in to a point again. Now, anything that I've learned as far as one-stroke painting is because I bought a few kits. Kits come with these fantastic instructional videos. Let me just come back again on this one. As I told you before, this is a rougher surface, so you get a little pitting on the ends here. So let me just clean that up. Much better. So yes, as I was saying, I'm not a painter whatsoever. But with these kits, with this instructional videos, basically anyone can do it. It's basic strokes. Now I'm coming back again, like I said, because I have like this little pitting on the sides. So with practice and practice sheets that you get with the kit, you just go right over your strokes and you create your designs. I'm going to turn this a little bit. I'm going to come in here, go over that one. I'm pushing really hard. Okay, so I have that so far. Let me just freshen up this one a little bit, get some more light on the ends. This particular bottle of white is not making me happy because it's a little too thick. Okay, so now the direction that I want the flower to look like it's facing, I want it to be facing upwards. So in this area here is where I'm going to start creating my inner petals. Again, loading. Now here we're going to create with the white on the outside again. Upside down U. And then again, like so. Now I'm cleaning my brush because it's getting a little too full for me of paint, and I want to have some nice clean edges. Now I have a little bit of flow medium. I'm going to try and let me see. This is a clear medium. It's not a flow medium. I'm going to see if I can at least try and dilute that white a little bit, because I'm not too happy whatsoever with it. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on my palette. Whoops. I'm going to wipe off some of this paint. And I'm going to take some of this clear. I'm going to put it in here. See if that loosens it up. It's doing a nice job. I'm going to just put a little bit more white in there. This is coming out more as if it was a oil paint than an acrylic paint. So that's loosening it up. Alright, let's hope for the best. Let's go back to blending, filling our brushes. And here we go. Now for creating the inner petals, you're going to hold your brush with the white right next to your center rosebud, and you're going to take your petal and you're going to wiggle, 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 pushing your brush outwards. Okay. And the paint is working better with the medium. And you can see here, I'm coming right up to the edge. I'm pushing, opening up my bristles, and I'm wiggling, wiggling, wiggling. And I'm coming in like that. Okay, and I'll create another one right here. Coming in. Now we're just going to start making our petals a little bit smaller. And here I'm holding it again right up to the edge of the petal. This one, I'm wiggling it, but just coming in like that. And now I'm just going to come in and create some little hash lines like that. My brush is getting dirty again. I'm cleaning it. Now I'm going to blend it again on my palette. I'll come back to this one again. Oh, it got dirty again. Let's see if I can fix that. It's very hard to do this upside down, so let me see if I put my palette down and start over. My colors are starting to get a little muddy here. And there's a little bit too much of that burgundy there. Just going to clean it. Let me freshen this one up again. Alright, leave it like that for now. Now I'm going to come in with my smaller brush, which is a size 12 flat. I think I want to try the 12 flat. Let me see. No, I think I might just stick with the big one again, just to create some rosebuds. Again, we're double loaded. Over here, I'm going to hold my brush 90-degree angle. And then I'm going to come back the opposite way. I'll make another one here. As you can see, I'm going over the leaves that I had before. That's why I like to create them first, so it could look nice and natural. Now on this side, I'll come back and I'll do the same. Now for these flowers, I'll create a very little petals. Just making sure that I'm well loaded. Over here I'll just come in. Oops, sorry. I'll recreate that on this one. Stands right up to the petal, to the rosebud. Turning our brush. Like so. Now I'm going to come on to the other side. And on this one, do the same process. I'm making this one look like it's opening up a little bit more. And I'll leave the other ones the way they are. Maybe I'll come here and just do this one. Making it look like they're opening up some more. Next I'm going to take my liner brush again. I'm going to come into the green again. One side, on the other side, so we're double loaded. And now I'm going to start creating our greenery on there. I wish I knew all the names of these things. I just know that they go there. So I'll continue to do this on all the petals of the flower. Creating our stems. Come over to this side. And let's create a little stem, the base of the flower. And now we're going to continue to the next one. Create our stem. Create the bottom. We'll continue here. And that takes care of that. Now I'm going to find another brush, and I'm going to try and put some filler flowers in between. This one is not from Arlene's. This is just one of my regular brushes that I get from the craft store. So I'm going to take what I'm doing is I'm going into that clear medium to loosen up my white, and I'm going to come in and create little flowers. And just pushing, touching, lifting, pushing, touching, lifting. And my reason for doing this is just to fill in a little bit, give it more dimension. See, this is why it's nice to have all your greenery in place. And now I'm going to fill in here as well. So basically this brush that I'm using is like it's an oval little brush. I'll throw some in here as well. I think that kind of starts making it pretty and fun. Maybe I'll throw just a few, 2 or 3 in here. So basically this stroke is just tapping lightly, pushing and lifting. Alright, let me take it back. And you get the idea of how this is coming along. Now I think I'll take the same brush and just do little dots around to simulate like little baby's breath. Just randomly. Throw some in here as well. A little bit over on this side. Now with this, you saw that I haven't really reloaded the brush. It's more trying to do like what's known as dry brushing. I'll throw some in here. Now, when I go into my palette, what I'm doing is I'm taking really from the edge that hardly has any paint just to charge up my brush a little bit. And just little strokes. I think that's pretty good for right now. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to use my school bus yellow. With the back of the brush. I'm going to dab it in there. I'm going to dab a little bit here on the side. I'm going to load it a little bit. And I'm going to come in here and just tap my brush and in the center. Just to give a little color to the center, making it look more realistic. Now, being that this is enamel, it's going to stay nice on the slick surface that I'm using. We'll be able to wipe it down and clean it without affecting the design that I've created. Just a hint of color, not getting too crazy. I'd rather come back a couple of times than to put too much and make it blobby. Can always fix that. Okay, so I think that does it for now. I'm going to take this back for you a little bit. And let's see if I can get this in here where you could see it. If you could get that well. I'm going to bring it up so you could see the detail. I'll take some pictures of it when I'm done recording, so you can get an idea of how it came out. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and remember that everything that I've created here you can recreate on your nails just by using smaller size brushes, which you can pick up at your local craft store. And if you have an Android phone or an iPhone, you can get apps to the stores that you'll be going to, and you can download their discount coupons, and that'll help you in purchasing your materials. Today this container of paint that I picked up, it was $2.29. And if you have a coupon and you're going to be buying a lot of colors of enamel, it's best to use your discounted coupons. So as I said before, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you like it, please share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and to see these kind of designs recreated on nails, you can go to my Facebook fan page, which is Nail Expressions. And thank you for watching.